All right. I think it's too cold to actually have a cold open.
Yeah.
So let's just get started.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Old Titans. This is one of the Old Titans, John Paul.
A co-creator, executive producer, sound editor, and CEO, CFO, the one and only B-Man.
Welcome.
Did you pause me?
No, I stopped the music. I let you finish so you had nice dramatic music in the background while you were saying your name. And as soon as you hit the end of your name and all of the titles, I stopped the music because nothing else should be as dramatic, right?
I think you paused. I'm going to listen to the show.
You can listen.
If I paused.
Yeah.
Do you do that to me often, I wonder? Like when I talk, I ramble, you just pause me out and let me finish my rambling?
I haven't before, but that would actually be a good idea.
Because between two of us, you actually ramble considerably more.
I do.
Yes.
Yes. But anyway, shall we get started with our B-Man question of the week?
All right. We talked about Disney making a Black Widow movie, finally. And she's been around since Iron Man 2, which was
a long time ago,
right?
Yeah.
The finally having a Black Widow movie, is this because of Wonder Woman's success, in your opinion? I mean, it took a long time for a character that's been established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for quite a long time. One of the first characters actually established.
It took them a long time to do it. I'm sure there's a little bit of just getting... this is horrible. I'm blanking on the actress's name.
Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson, thank you. I'm sure it took a little bit of working with her schedule. She's popular. She does multiple things. But I have a feeling if they'd really wanted to make this movie some time ago, they could have figured that out.
Right.
But at the same time, they did Captain Marvel, or they're working on Captain Marvel, which was kind of their answer to, you mean DC can do a female movie and you can't, Marvel, even though you're kicking their butt and everything else? It gave them kind of a black eye. Maybe a little bitty one. Not one they really cared about that much because they were making so much money. But it did give them a little bit of a black eye that their competition was putting out a female-led superhero movie first. So they did the green light on Captain Marvel. So they didn't have to do Black Widow. I don't know how much of it is Wonder Woman existing, how much of it is Wonder Woman existing and making a buttload of money, and they wanted to show they have multiple female-led movies, and 2017 kind of being the year of female empowerment. You know, just lots of stuff going on with, Hollywood bigwigs falling left and right. I don't know how much of it's each of those pieces, or if it was a perfect storm of all those things coming together at the same time. I don't know.
See, I really can't answer this because part of me wants to say it has to be Wonder Woman's success. I understand why they actually delayed making that. Just the fact that Marvel doesn't really have that hugely popular female character. Wonder Woman is one of the most popular characters in any comic book.
Right. Yeah.
She's top 5, if you ask me. Maybe even higher. Marvel has a bunch of cool ones, but I'm trying to think, like, comic book-wise, I really can't think of any female-led Marvel comic characters. Can you?
I think the only one that has led a book for a considerable amount of time, had critical success and financial success, and everybody kind of knows, and even those who don't know her would still get it, is She-Hulk.
Right.
I mean, because people know Hulk, even if they don't know who She-Hulk is, they hear She-Hulk.
That's the only one I can actually think of as well.
And her book was very successful, and it did the whole, long before Deadpool and anybody else was doing the break the fourth wall thing, she was doing all that. I mean, hers was a fun book. She's been part of the Fantastic Four. I would have, if anybody had asked me to guess, before any movies were made, but, once Iron Man 2 came out, I would have guessed her, but Black Widow, but I would have guessed She-Hulk long before that.
Yeah, so I kind of want to say, it has to be because of DC. At the same point, too, Marvel gave you a talking raccoon and a talking tree as the main characters. I mean,
and they do have other female characters. You got Spider-Girl, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman, a lot of Spider stuff, of course, there.
Yeah.
You got Sue Storm. You do have Captain Marvel, who's coming.
And Regular Storm, who's one of the coolest characters out there. I thought it would have been her being the first one.
Hey, that would not have been a bad idea. In fact, that would have been a good way, if the whole Marvel Universe had been together from the beginning, that would have been another way to have introduced Black Panther.
Right.
Done it through the X-Men with a romance with them and then spin him off into his own movie.
That would have been good. They can do that now, but now it's kind of late because everything's already been established.
Yeah, but they still could eventually bring the two of them together.
They still might, I think. So I get to say I really don't know.
I think if they did, it's less now because they feel like they have to have a female character, and now it'd be more about the money.
And then they should. They should have a female character by now, I think.
Well,
all those movies they released, they should have a female.
Yeah. And they gave her, I mean, think of all the press and promo stuff and everything else in the Avengers movie. They gave her plenty of screen time and everything else. It's not like to do that. Now, on the toy side, that's different. A lot of the toys and a lot of the other merchandising, Black Widow was left out of a lot of stuff.
That's actually, I don't know if it's Disney's licensing or whatever. Not even Black Widow, but I remember when Star Wars came out, The Force Awakens, like, there was no Rey or Phasma toy. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, Hasbro, Mattel, all of them seem to have those problems.
And it's like Black Widow is one of the coolest characters. I had a woman toy when I was a kid with superpowers when they had to squeeze a leg and push it. I had no problem playing with them.
And this is not so much a pro DC thing, but I do think it's really cool that they've come up with their whole DC superhero girls line.
Mm-hmm.
It's aimed at the, 8 to 15-year-old girl age. I mean, I don't know the exact, there's a range of stuff between the cartoon and the toys and everything else. They've got plenty of stuff aimed at little bitties, and they've got some stuff with some of the shirts and other merchandising aimed at older. They've got the whole range, but it's done really, really well.
I do think that DC does have the market right now on the female characters that Marvel is just lacking. The top two, at least popular, probably more than that, is DC. It's Wonder Woman and Harley. Those two are the top. Those two are in an own bracket, I think.
Well, top two in sales, definitely. On name recognition, I probably would have swapped out Harley for Supergirl.
Right.
For across the board. Within a young population, Harley's just as well known. But if you go all the way up to somebody 80-something years old.
Oh, yeah, they know Supergirl, but even still, Harley right now is just so popular. I think Harley's actually more popular than Wonder Woman is, honestly, as far as the young
sales
kids go.
right now, yeah, absolutely.
And cosplay as well. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So,
and at least she has a lot of variations that they can do with her.
Yeah.
It's not the same costume everywhere.
Yeah.
Deadpool, they can do some variations.
Deadpool,
but there's still
do
a
any
limit.
variations. I get so sick of Deadpool cosplays over the years. I really have been. There's too many Deadpools.
Quite a few. And I've noticed that the Harley cosplayers, the most they get into character is, they make their voice squeaky and wave and say hi. But that's about it. On the other hand, Deadpool cosplayers tend to be the most obnoxious people at the convention.
That is one thing that actually bothered me, like 2 years ago when there was like Army Deadpools.
Yeah.
Like I'd be walking around and give me like a wet willy. I'm like, don't touch me, man.
Yeah.
Don't put your finger in my ear. I don't know you.
Now, to be fair, it's not all of them. I mean, you wore a Deadpool mask
I
as
did
part
it
of your
as
thing.
a way to make fun of you and your wife.
Oh, well, and that was fine, but you were not obnoxious
Right.
like the others. And there was one last year. Give him props. It was obviously was a homemade costume. He'd made it himself. That was one of the best Deadpool or any superhero costume I'd seen. The detail he put into it and everything, incredible job. And he was not acting like a jerk. He was posing, doing all the rest of the kind of stuff, but he did a great job. So it's not everybody. And what hurts is the army of Deadpools give the ones who really like the character and the costume a bad name.
Yeah.
It almost makes somebody not want to cosplay Deadpool. And
Yeah, I'm with it.
I don't know. It's kind of sad when it made that much money at the theater.
It's a good movie. And part 2 comes out this year, I believe.
Does it? Is it that soon?
I think it's this summer.
Oh, I thought it was later than that.
I could be wrong. I haven't checked
I
it.
don't know.
You're not going to watch it. I'm going to see it. Definitely.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing it.
My daughter wants to see it.
No. That one's a wise choice.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get on with the news?
Get on with the news.
All righty. Got some interesting news here, which I'm going to save the best for last. We'll start with Venom. Everybody's been talking Venom. Some images were released. The biggest news
There's a rumor, if I know what you're talking about here.
well, Peter Parker is supposedly going to appear in the movie. Tom Holland has been seen on the set of Venom, and supposedly Peter Parker is going to appear in the Venom movie. Not as Spider-Man, just as Peter Parker, if that's what you thought I was going with.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no question. The part that's not a rumor is Tom Holland was seen on the set. There's no guarantee. He could have just wanted to visit the set. But
Most likely.
most likely and it could be an appearance where he's on a school bus, looks out a window, and that guy again. And that's the extent of his.
If they don't use him as the origin of Venom, you get them wrong. No way around it. You need him as the origin.
And unfortunately, you can't do the full origin of the whole Secret Wars and everything else, at least not right now.
But even if you have the alien thing like they did in Spider-Man 3, one of the few things that got
Yeah.
right in that movie, I was okay with how they introduced them.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was terrible.
Oh, Spider-Man 3, yeah, absolutely. Second item. Godzilla. You like Godzilla?
I like Godzilla.
Love Godzilla?
I love Godzilla.
All right. Godzilla's back on Netflix
Yes.
as an anime.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know it. It's the first time Godzilla's been an anime.
He's had a cartoon years ago.
He's had cartoons, but not an anime, which is that whole Japanese anime look thing.
Was the cartoon that introduced Godzuki, or was that...
No, there was a live action one that had Godzuki first.
I remember
And then
Godzuki.
cartoon.
Okay.
Godzuki was... I never liked Godzuki. Live action cartoon, I don't care. Godzuki was really stupid.
They actually had was it Marvel had a comic of Godzilla?
Yeah.
I remember that. The problem with the Godzilla, I hope they don't go that direction. I really do, because
What's
that cartoon was so horrible.
Oh,
You go back
that-
and watch it. I kind of want to see it now just to see what it was. But
This one is supposed to be very Japanese anime, futuristic world style, sci-fi,
Okay.
and bring in Godzilla. 89 minutes long, and it's on Netflix now, and it's been getting kind of mixed reviews. Mixed as
Netflix
in,
now?
yeah, it's on Netflix now, and supposedly mixed as in, some people really enjoy it, and some people, it's not that great. Nobody's loving it or hating it. It's just you get a range, and it's probably a range of people who either went in expecting one thing and got something different, or just were not anime fans or whatever. But I'll definitely be watching it.
check it out.
Can't skip some DC news.
Yes.
Black Lightning premiered this week on the CW to the second best ratings for a new show ever on the CW.
And I'm sure you loved it.
It was really good.
Okay.
It is not the best show I've ever seen on CW or any other network. I'm not going to go that far, but it was really good.
Good.
I'm hoping it's unique enough compared to the other ones. I'm hoping it finds an audience and continues.
Okay.
I'll definitely be watching next week, and we'll get into the story and find out how it goes. I mean, I will admit, at the end of season 1 of Legends Tomorrow, I knew I was going to watch the premiere, and I didn't know if I'd watch any more after that. And then it became my favorite show on TV, period. So you never know where Black Lightning could go. It started really good, could go up or down. And last one before the nice, big, important news. Last one, Shannara Chronicles. Did you ever watch any of the Shannara Chronicles?
No.
No?
No.
Even though Manu Benet is in it?
Yeah, that's MTV, right?
I think so.
I can't do MTV shows. I just can't do MTV shows.
It actually was really good. They just picked it up. It's not like they did it.
Is he still in it? Is Mano Bennett?
Yeah. Sort of. It was just canceled. So it's got 2 seasons, and that's it. But he was really good in it. And I originally thought that's why he was no longer Deathstroke in Arrow, because he had gotten that show where he was in every episode.
From what I heard, he had problems with the cast of Arrow, or not the cast, some direction of Arrow.
He had some problems with it. They were doing Suicide Squad as well. There was some back and forth, and finally, in the end, they allowed him to come back, and he was on it this season.
Was
in
he?
fact, he was on 2 episodes last season at the end, which were really good. He was really good. It was really good. And then he's been on at least 2 episodes this season.
Oh, okay.
And probably the 2 best episodes of the season.
Well, he was my favorite Deathstroke.
Oh,
he really
he's
is.
great.
He's unbelievable.
And it's a 2-parter this season that focused 100% on him. You get a lot the flashback now.
Yeah.
Since that we're past the 5-year part, we're done with flashing back to the island. We're now into whatever the flashback wants to be, which they don't always do. But when they do one, this time they did a flashback to Deathstroke's origins and such.
The flashbacks is honestly what killed me after so many years. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of the flashbacks.
I think if the stories had been better in the flashbacks, it would have been okay.
Maybe.
My opinion, I think
You might be right.
But the Deathstroke one is part of the reason. The Deathstroke flashback stuff was fantastic. So you should watch that. I know you're not watching Arrow right now, but
I might.
you should go back and watch at least the 2-part Deathstroke episode.
I might.
And then, are you ready? Shaking my newspaper. Yes. Not that it's a newspaper, but it's a piece of paper with news on it.
Sticky note.
So it's a sticky note. Sticky news.
Sticky
This
news.
is the sticky news. The most important news of the century. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq. The man himself. He wants to join the Avengers, kick Robert Downey Jr.'s butt, and reboot Steel. Doesn't this sound like an incredible idea?
Yeah, it's amazing. Awesome. Other news. Listen,
Yeah.
the rumor mill.
Yeah, just so we know, just so people were clear in case they didn't pick up on it, I think it was a horrible idea, and that was sarcasm, which
Yeah,
I hope you got that.
I'm just pulled that off right away.
Yeah. I do hope they do not.
No, nobody's in that.
No, just no.
He's blowing smoke.
Yeah, I hope so.
Rumor right now, Jake Gyllenhaal going to take over as Batman.
I heard that. Not my favorite.
You know, I'm torn on this one. As an actor, he's great, and
He's
definitely he need to bulk
fine,
up to be
fine.
Batman. The problem I have is, isn't he really short? I'm kind of like he just seems like I don't know how
Like Michael Keaton short?
Maybe.
I mean, that was part of the problem with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's acting was fine.
Batman should be like what 6'2", 6'3",
Yeah.
and intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the problems I've had, even with Keaton playing him, is when Bruce Wayne, one of the things he can walk around so freely in Gotham is because he's an intimidating man. He's a large man. The crooks still leave him kind of alone.
Yeah.
They went after him a couple of times, messed up.
Yeah. Well.
But, I mean, he's not the guy you can push over. Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm sorry to say this, I'm not intimidated by him. I walk past him on the street, I don't find him intimidating at all.
Now, he will, if I mean, he's not chosen yet.
Right.
If he's chosen, just like Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, if you go back and look at his early movies, was a scrawny, nothing guy. Tall, but scrawny, nothing. So Gyllenhaal can bulk up, no question.
Right.
They'll get with trainers and they'll bulk up. He'll have the physique. The height, I guess they could do between the boots and the cowl and all of that.
Well, they did that with The Outsiders, with Patrick Swayze. They made him
Yeah.
seem really tall and intimidating,
Yeah.
and he wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't find... This thing, I don't find Gyllenhaal intimidating. Great actor, but kind of like Tobey Maguire, too. I don't find Tobey Maguire intimidating.
No.
So,
But he didn't have to be intimidating.
No, Peter Parker doesn't have to be.
Yeah, Spider-Man looks kind of like a scrawny guy, even in
Yeah.
costume.
Right.
Yeah,
Again, that's just rumors. We don't know
yeah,
yet.
he's a good actor. There's something about his look, though, and not even the height or the muscles or any of that, which they can get past. There's something about his look that just, to me, does not come across Batman.
So we pretty much just admitting that Affleck's done? I mean, is that...
He's supposed to have at least one more movie. Now, it doesn't mean a standalone Batman movie. There's still that question in the air, but probably not. But he's still supposed to have at least one more appearance, either whether it's an Aquaman or Suicide Squad or Flashpoint. One of those he's supposed to have.
I would actually let him out of Batman. I really would. And start over for this movie.
Well, if it's Aquaman, he's probably already filmed it because it's
Right,
done.
but Batman movie's coming out, starting filming right now, right?
I think Batman is supposed to start filming sometime in 2018. They finished the story, but that's
I would
as far as
honestly
got.
just not care. I would not have him in it. I really wouldn't. I know you loved him. I think he's been good up to this point. But if you watch Batman v Superman, which was a terrible movie, and Justice League, which is a good movie, I do feel, I think we mentioned it a couple weeks ago, he phoned it in for Justice League. I really, when I watched that, I'm like, he's still good, but you can tell he didn't give it at all.
Yeah.
I get that impression right away. And I have a feeling, good actors, he's a good actor. Natalie Portman's a great actress. Thor 2, Revenge of the Sith, she phoned it in. Let's be real. She did. She didn't want to be there. She can tell she didn't want to be there. I hope he doesn't do this with Batman.
Yeah. I think the one I heard, because I know he has one more appearance supposedly to do. And I think the one I heard is Flashpoint. And while I don't think they'll do this, something they could do. If all they cared about was the geek fanboy audience, and they didn't care about selling tickets to anybody else or worrying about if anybody else could understand it, they could do this idea. And that is, with Flashpoint, the basics of Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Flash go back, change time, has to unchange it, and in doing so, things are now a little bit different. We want Negan, the actor who plays Negan,
Jeffrey D. Morgan,
thank you, to be Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint universe. Because in the Flashpoint universe, Bruce died and his father becomes Batman.
Right.
We want Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be Batman through most of Flashpoint if Batman has a major role, which he did in the story. He was mainly Flash and Batman working together to try to change time back. But Batman could still have an opening bit and a closing bit. Because again, in Flashpoint, he had a closing bit. They didn't have an opening. But he could have that framing sequence. Have Ben Affleck be in the opening sequence. Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the middle. And then the new actor at the end.
But he should still look like Batman. I mean, he should still look like...
But whoever you cast, whether it's Jake Gyllenhaal or anybody else, have Flash say, wow, we did it. We changed time. I just hope we had everything right. I wonder if anything's changed. Obviously, a writer who knows how to write better than I do on dialogue. But he has something along those lines.
Yeah.
And as he says the words, I wonder what else has changed. Have Batman walk in. remove the cowl, and there's the new actor.
But again, Bruce Wayne should still look like Bruce Wayne, no matter what changes.
There could be genetic differences. With time changing, there could have been.
No.
What if Martha chose to eat the hamburger that night instead of the steak, and it changed something to the genetic thing or whatever? I don't know.
Maybe. Okay.
I don't know.
Stretching.
I'm stretching, but that's one possibility. More than likely, it will be just if he gets one more, it'll be Ben Affleck in that closing sequence on Flashpoint, and that'll be it.
That would be cool. I just don't see how that would work. But all right, we'll go with that.
It worked in the comic.
The comic's completely different.
Yeah.
A lot of things work in the comics that don't really work in the
This is true. All right. So.
Oh, speaking of rumors.
Yeah.
Anybody follows us on Twitter? I know you, once in a blue moon, access it.
Yeah.
There have been rumors that the B-Man looks like Mr. Fantastic. These are just rumors, by the way, John Paul.
I want to 110% support you. Absolutely, seriously.
Thank you.
Those are just rumors.
Yes, those are just rumors.
The truth is, he absolutely looks like Mr. Fantastic.
Nothing like Mr. Fantastic.
Yes,
absolutely nothing.
That or Doctor Strange.
No. Our rival podcast, How to Work Show, put pictures with Fantastic and me next to each other and said, "Hey, look." Yeah. Obviously, they're trying to psychological warfare as it is, but it's not true. At the end of the day, it's not true. So
I've never seen you and Mr. Fantastic in the room together, though.
Or Batman.
I might have seen you and Batman in the room together.
No, I'm pretty sure you haven't.
Well, MegaCon and things like that. I've never seen a Mr.
It wasn't really Batman, obviously.
But I've never actually seen a Mr. Fantastic cosplayed.
There's a reason for that, John Paul.
Well, I don't know that I've ever seen the Fantastic Four cosplayed. I know people have done it, but I've never actually seen it.
Okay. Well.
And again, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's because they have kind of boring costumes and movies hadn't been good. Anyway. So, what could we talk about today for our main topic? Is there anything out there that jumps out? Like, the topic is just, it's the it thing of the day. Is there anything that really...
It's funny, because just recently I let you borrow... It came out on Tuesday.
It did?
It did.
What did?
It. You see me trying to be funny? It's not funny.
Yeah. We should have planned the whole Evan Costello thing.
We did. It didn't work.
Didn't work. Okay.
B-Man's Choice Movie of the Year from last year.
Yep.
I believe Hard to Work Mary had the same movie. Was it?
Did he?
I think he both picked it. I believe it was.
Could be.
So we both obviously loved the movie. We let you borrow this copy, or I let you borrow this copy.
Yeah.
You saw it over the weekend.
Yes, I did. And now we're ready to discuss it.
Yes.
Right?
The Blu-ray release.
All right. And just kind of set it up for everybody. You were somebody, like you just said, thought it was the best movie of last year.
Mm-hmm.
You read the book
about 20 years ago.
20 years ago. You saw the original movie. Did you see the movie first or read the book first? Do you remember?
I want to say I saw the movie first.
Okay. So you've done movie, book, movie.
Right.
But you're all in and know all about the story and everything. You went into this movie already knowing what to expect and really enjoyed it.
Right.
I went into this movie knowing that it was, one, a horror movie.
Which it was.
Two, had a clown in it.
It did.
3, having seen the trailer, it had a lot of kids in it that gave you the feeling of watching Stranger Things a little bit in the trailer.
And one of the kids from Stranger Things is actually in this movie.
And that could be one of the reasons, but just kind of the feel. So the trailer I actually enjoyed.
Okay.
In fact, when the trailer starts, you don't know it's a trailer for it if you don't know the story, if you know nothing about it. You see a trailer and you're like, wow, somebody's riding the coattails of Stranger Things. Hey, this looks good. Hey, this looks really good. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's kind of how the mind goes while watching the trailer. So we were in completely different points going into it. And I did not see it in the theater. I saw it only at home. But still, in the dark, at night, lights turned down, surround sound, eerie feeling, all that kind of stuff, which was actually very effective. I would not give it best movie of last year. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a well-made movie.
Okay.
I couldn't give it best movie of last year.
Well, the thing is, the best movie for you is always going to be a DC movie, regardless.
No.
Almost always. And they're going to be in the top at least.
They're absolutely in the top.
No matter what it is.
I'm still torn.
Right.
For last year.
The Greatest Showman, I know again. But even still, like this year, for example, we do the awards. Aquaman's going to be up there for you. It's going to be.
I hope so. I honestly hope so.
It's going to be. I mean, let's be real here.
Well, now, but just to be fair, when the first Hulk movie came out, the Ang Lee Hulk, I love the Hulk. I was so excited about that.
That movie was absolutely horrible.
Ang Lee is a great director. I loved Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I loved everything I was hearing up until I saw that movie. You know, how his directing style was, with the comic book panels on screen, all that. I loved everything. I went in with the most positive attitude possible. Hated that movie.
I don't think anybody liked that movie.
No. So, well, yes, I anticipate I will probably love Aquaman.
Right.
There's always a chance they'll do an Ang Lee Hulk thing. So just throwing that out there.
You're right.
Okay.
But most likely
I'll
tough.
enjoy it.
But then again, to be fair, horror movies tend to be my favorite as well.
It's your thing.
Now, Star Wars would have been last year. But Last Jedi had some major flaws to it.
And depending on what happens with Han Solo could be the best movie of the year.
Han Solo's not going to be the best movie of the year.
Just
It probably. I hope it is.
Well, yeah.
I would love it is, but it's not going to be.
It probably not.
So, okay, A through F. What's your ranking?
A through F. On a completely personal level, not rating it like I was just a movie reviewer telling other people what they might or might not think, just how much I enjoyed or not enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I would probably give it. I'm going to go with maybe a B minus.
Okay, so you enjoyed it more than you didn't like it.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoyed it more than I like it. And I think if there were a few plot points in it which were explained more, and we're not waiting for we should probably say, spoiler alert, at this point forward, we're going to probably mention story elements. If you don't have anything spoiled, don't listen from this point forward, okay? If there were a few plot points that were explained, not waited for part 2, then I think I would raise that B minus to a B or a B plus.
But even, I don't think they're, as odd as it sounds, in this book, you've seen the book before, I'm sure.
I've seen it on the shelf, yeah.
You see how thick this book is.
I didn't pay attention to that, but
it's
yeah.
a gigantic
okay.
book. It's bigger than your Sanderson books, put it that way.
All right.
Or probably the same size, I don't know.
It's huge. It's huge.
Right. There actually isn't really much of a plot point. Keep in mind, this is written, was it 70s it was written?
70s,
80s, whatever it was. Where Stephen King was really on drugs a lot. He admits it too. He was high on drugs. Like Cujo, I think he wrote. Do you remember writing that book?
That's bad.
Yeah, it is bad. There isn't much to really tell you. If that makes any sense.
So my missing things were, and you don't have to answer these. These just going down the list. I have no idea why the clown thing was there. I understand, but he works in the story. But I do like knowing the bad guy's motivation, whoever the bad guy is. The bad guy's motivation might be, I'm a giant monster from Monster Island and I destroy stuff.
They kind of hinted towards it, that he needs to eat. He needs to feed.
He needs to feed. But you're left with a big mystery. And for most of the movie, you don't realize there's going to be a part 2 or 3 or anything else. If you don't know that, you just don't realize that. You think it's going to be a complete story.
Known that. No, I think you should have known that.
But not knowing anything about the bad guy, the floating bodies at the end, what's up with that? That's kind of weird and odd.
Again, it's Stephen King.
Yeah. There's a lot hinted at, but never actually fully explored with the one female kid's father. They hint at the fact that there's sexual abuse.
Yes, she was sexually abused by him.
But they never really go there. And I don't mean show it. I'm not saying that. Right. But they never really say whether or not it's a threat. Because they show her getting old enough to need to go buy feminine products. And you get the impression that possibly she's just now hitting that point in life because of the way the father reacts. So is she worried because now she's old enough that he might start taking advantage? Or has he always been taking advantage? There's a whole story there that is left out. It's almost like there were scenes filmed, or in the book, probably, that are left out of this.
It's hard to mention the book because it's been 20 years to read the book.
Yeah.
And again, that was from high school days and read other things as well during that time period. So it's really hard to say. I do remember she was sexually abused, or at least hinted towards it. But again, it's so... can you really mention that in the movie? That's really a line where it's really hard to mention. And it's really...
I mean, I didn't think it added
changes
anything.
the storyline.
I don't think it added anything, though. Having that in there, I mean, if her dad had just been somebody sitting on the couch, and when she came and left the apartment, hi, Dad, bye, Dad, and there'd never been anything with him, I don't know that it would have mattered much.
I think you needed the fear with her and her father, and that's why she could stand out to Pennywise at the end of the movie, because she's been through so much with him. What can this clown do to you?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, what can really kill a clown do to you after you've been sexually abused by your father? Not a lot, I don't think. That's why she wasn't afraid of him at the end. She was able to face him. So that actually makes sense in that way.
In that way, but I don't know. They're just, again, none of these are like killer things that just destroyed the movie.
Like, I see what you did there, John Paul. That was funny.
Yeah, but none of them are, just moments that took me out of the movie or just stopped my enjoyment. But there were enough of these 3 or 4 or 5 little things that just were kept me from calling it a kind of perfect horror movie, beginning to end, done. I mean, Friday the 13th, the very first one. You can watch the very first Friday the 13th and never watch another one, and you get a complete story. You get backstory, you get everything complete.
It's a very tiny story.
It's a tiny story, but it's a very complete story. Now, this one, the acting is miles and miles, millions of miles better than the acting Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
The kids do an incredible job.
Right.
I could watch a movie with just these kids just being kids and having fun. And it'd be fine. In fact, Stranger Things would probably be better if you took away the stranger part and just had the kids playing D&D and just living their normal life.
That'd have been a good TV show to you?
It could be a good TV show.
No, Stranger Things is great. Don't say bad things about Stranger Things.
But I'm just saying, the kids do a good enough job that I would enjoy just watching that interaction. Kind of reliving the childhood stuff. They were all very believable characters. It all worked.
They did change things in this movie that I'm surprised they changed that.
Like what? Because I obviously wouldn't know.
Okay, Mike, for example.
Okay, remind me which one's Mike.
Mike
again, name's Mike.
He's the one with the goats and the gun. He killed the goats, and his parents died. In this movie, his parents died in a fire. The
only reason he's living in this town is he came to live with his grandfather, isn't it?
Something like that. I think the parents died in this town, I believe.
Did they? Okay.
It was hard to tell because in the original book, him and Ben kind of swapped a little bit. He was more the historian. He's the one that found out the history of it. He's the one that went to the pictures and mentioned it in class, and this is really strange. This happened all these times. Ben wasn't like that, actually. Ben was the writer. He still was the fat kid that got picked on by the bullies. But Mike was really the... And plus, I want to say in the book and the original movie as well that his parents are still alive. Right. And they loved him very much. He had a great relationship with his father.
Right.
So they changed that part a lot, and I couldn't figure out why they did that as much.
Other than... He still probably had a good relationship with his grandfather. I mean, yes, his grandfather was tough with him.
Right.
But it was not it wasn't an unloving relationship. It was just more of I'm trying to teach you tough life lessons here. I'm trying to toughen you up, kid.
Yeah. No,
because I care about you.
That's probably what it was. I did get that vibe, yes.
Yeah, he had a decent home life. It's just he didn't like killing the sheep.
Right. And I don't blame him for that.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it either.
No.
I really couldn't.
No.
Which actually, because changing him and Ben out with the story of him being the historian and doing all the research, it changes things for the sequel. Because in the sequel, just to set it up for you, how things go, every kid moves away. And they all become extremely successful. Successful writer, successful architect, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Except Mike. Mike stays behind.
Okay.
And Mike does not succeed at all.
Continues with the farm or just works?
He wasn't. I don't think he was on the farm. I can't remember. It's been so long.
Just has a job.
It's a very poor job.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, I hate to say, not on poor job. It's like me and you, for example.
But he's not a bum on the street.
Right.
He just has an average job. Okay.
I'm saying if me and you grew up together and that kind of stuff, which we hadn't, but we split apart. I'm still okay, but you've succeeded well. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing with that way with him. Is with these other kids that are just blowing things up. They're doing
doctors, lawyers, mechanic.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Correct.
Nothing wrong with that. Just different.
And that's kind of like where he's at, I believe. So I don't know if he's going to be the one that moves away or Ben moves away. Just that's a weird change to me. Why they would do that kind of change?
Did any of them end up? And I don't mind you spoiling anything for part 2. Did any of them end up with the girl? And
no.
What was her name? I'm blanking on her name.
Oh, God, I can't remember her name.
Oh,
now.
No. Both of us forgot the name.
We'll get her name in a minute.
We'll get it. But anyway, she was great.
She was unbelievable, yeah.
But anyway, but no. So none of them ended up with her, even though you had the secret admirer, Ben, and then the other kid with the stutter. And was the stutter part of it as well?
The stutter was part of it.
Okay.
And he gets rid of his stutter when he moves away and doesn't come back to he moves back to fight you the second time.
Okay.
Stan ends up killing himself. He doesn't want to go back because they all forget about what happens.
Yeah, Stan, the one that was going through his bar mitzvah.
Yes.
Okay.
Beverly Marsh was the girl's name, by the way.
Okay, Beverly Marsh.
Played by Sophia Lillis, who was amazing in that movie.
Yeah, she did great.
Great.
So Beverly, okay. But so Stan kills himself before, like in between books.
Basically, what happens is they all move on. They all have successful lives. Stan, I believe, has a married life. None of them can have kids.
Okay.
Beverly,
For whatever reason,
right?
We don't know necessarily.
Beverly, I don't think got married, but I remember she had like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And when she comes back, she finally actually. Now that I think about it, Smallville. What was Mark Kent's name in Smallville?
Martha?
Well, the actress is in Smallville.
Oh, now that you asked,
Martha!
No. Yeah, that makes sense. I can't believe you forget
No,
that one.
no.
I'll think.
Well, whatever the
of it in a
actress's
minute.
name was, I believe she's the one that came back and played Beverly Marsh
Oh, okay.
in a TV series.
Okay.
TV series actually some tragedy in the TV series. Not thinking about it. Jonathan Brandis, who unfortunately killed himself shortly after. John Ritter was in it, who died mysteriously on
Yeah.
set. Tim Curry, who had a stroke. They've had some.
Now, Tim Curry's is not quite as tragic. I mean, he's lived quite a long life.
He's an amazing actor. By
Yeah,
the
a
way.
great actor.
Right.
He's lived quite a long life. Maybe it's tragic, yeah, stroke or anything else, but he's not struck down at 30 or 40 years old.
Right.
John Ritter, he was what, 35, 40, maybe 40-ish?
Probably my age, yeah. And
Yeah.
unfortunately happened.
Yeah, during 8 Simple Rules for Dating My
Oh,
Daughter.
and other
Anyway.
random news too. Just to go back to the news for a second, Dolores Claiborne lost her life. Lead singer of the Cranberries, 46 years old. That's tragedy.
I've seen that in the news. I have no idea who the Cranberries are.
I'm sure you heard some of the songs.
I maybe have. By the name,
Yeah.
though, if somebody mentioned Cranberries, I honestly, not as a joke, all I can think of is the food. I've never heard of the Cranberries.
I'll get a chance to play some songs for you
Yeah.
later on. I guarantee a couple of them you heard.
Oh, yeah, sure I have.
Even commercials. Anyways, back to it for a second here. And so that's how the sequel goes. As far as this to the original TV show,
Okay.
I watched the original. It was made a TV movie, which alone kills a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because
There's less they can do.
they could not do this movie on TV.
Just the opening scene, I almost had to stop watching the movie. I will say that.
It was tough. It was tough.
And I don't
especially-
remember where the credits were in it or whatever, but Georgie's following the boat down.
Yeah.
Sees Pennywise in the
And
sewer.
you know it's coming. You know it's coming a mile
However,
away.
what I knew was coming was he gets pulled underneath and is gone. Now, beyond that, I don't know if the rest of the movie is them trying to find him or not at that point. Now, once they jump a year ahead, I know that he's gone,
Right.
especially with what happened. But while I'm sitting there waiting for Pennywise to grab him, I don't know whether this is a movie where Pennywise is killing them or if he's kidnapping them or anything else. I honestly have no idea at that point. And then all of a sudden, he bites his arm off. And you see this little kid's arm ripped off,
Yeah,
and him start crawling across the ground.
It's
That
tougher,
is-
I think, right now for us
Yeah.
at this point in our life than it was 20 years ago. We don't have kids.
Yeah,
Just the fact that and it's tough to watch, but it's supposed to be.
yeah. That was. I almost had to stop right there and tell you, sorry, I just can't watch this movie. But
And you're right, it's hard.
I made it through it.
I mean, I've told you before, little blonde girls and movies get hurt. I can't watch. I can't do it anymore. Comparing Bill Skarsgård to Tim Curry's Pennywise, it really is two completely different characters. And it's funny because they tell kind of the same story, but Curry was amazing. But just watching him recently, I don't think I was ever intimidated by Curry. I don't think I was ever scared by Curry.
All right, so
Skarsgård came back; he was intimidating.
So I got to ask this.
Yes.
I asked this before watching this one, and I don't think you answered because you wanted me to see it.
Right.
And that was, I didn't know whether or not Pennywise was always in the form of the clown, or if he ever changed costumes or anything else.
He changes.
Well, he didn't change in this, really. I mean,
He
in
changed
this
a
movie.
couple times. He was the leper briefly.
Well, see, I never saw that as being him. I always just saw that as visions of.
It might have been actually.
Now, it could be the
They
same
never really
actor
explained
doing it. I just saw that as visions of those things that Pennywise was sending to
It
them.
may have been.
But that is not. But he didn't like change clothes and appear in town in other forms and other things like that. It wasn't like he took off the clown costume, put on the business suit, and walked around town.
No.
So in the original, I assume it's the same. He's the clown.
He's the
all the
clown
time.
throughout the movie.
How
Yeah.
about part 2? Is he still?
Pennywise is his
Pennywise the
favorite.
clown.
That's his favorite
Okay.
appearance. There are parts where he changes, and I don't know if it's hallucinating, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I believe it's him still being there. because they really lose of what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's Georgie for a few moments.
Because they make him show that he can teleport and that kind of stuff, essentially, or just appear where he wants to appear.
I will say, that was one thing I was very impressed with at the end there.
What's that?
Where Georgie's brother...
Bill?
Bill. When Bill shoots Georgie...
You're not Georgie? Yeah, that scene was...
That... I didn't think... I mean, I thought he would be sitting there going, I know you're not, or no, you're... I thought he would struggle with it, but I never thought that would happen, and he didn't hesitate. He had a great speech. The kid sold that speech.
Absolutely.
That was one of the best moments from an actor standpoint. That kid's going to get a ton of work from that one scene. And with no hesitation, boom, right in the head.
That's your favorite scene in the movie?
Not favorite scene in the movie, but best acted scene in the movie.
What's your favorite scene in that movie?
Favorite scene in the movie. That's the difficult one.
So I can tell you mine.
Okay, yeah.
It's an interesting setup, because I watched a lot of behind the scenes. I love this movie, as I told you before.
Yeah.
The kids had like maybe 2 months of filming before they even met Pennywise. And they kept Pennywise away. They kept Bill Skarsgård, who I thought was incredible in this movie. I thought he was absolutely incredible. They kept him away the entire time. So the kids never saw him. The first time they see him is when he comes out of the refrigerator and attacks Eddie.
Okay.
And that scene, he's come out of the refrigerator, and it's CGI, but he's kind of untangling himself, and does the whole walk, time to float type thing.
Yeah.
It was so freaky. And the whole setup, just the kids go... Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things going to the house with Bill. Right. That whole scene was just so incredible to me. And, he's torturing the kid. He's crying to him, mimic him, and it was such a great scene. I loved that scene. It was nerve-wracking watching this.
I would say my favorite. I can't pick one. It was any scene where you had all the kids together, all of them, not just the boys, but Beverly as well. When you had all of them together, whether they're getting ready to attack the house and find Pennywise, some tense action moments, or if they're swimming or sitting around talking about the history, with Ben. With Ben. Any of those moments where all the kids were together, just talking and really getting to show off their character as a group, I thought those scenes were so well done.
The entire they were so good together. Every kid worked so well together.
Yeah.
And even the end of the movie where they're kind of facing off against Pennywise, and Pennywise has Bill in his clutch, like, listen, you just take off. I eat him. I'm gone 27 years. You will live your life. Everything's good.
Yep.
And Richie steps up there and it's like, Bill, you should have listened to me, and this happens, and making this huge speech, and now would have killed this, clown. Yeah. That was an awesome moment in the movie as well.
Every moment where that group got to be together and be in character was...
Because you can tell, I think, the kids, you can tell when they really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed working with each other. I get that feeling.
Yeah. So those are the best. I tell you what, one moment came across very, very real, beyond the, Bill doing that, acting, you're not Georgie, boom. Beyond that, when Beverly finds the postcard from her secret admirer...
yes.
And, okay, I know for the story why she went into the bathroom, but there was no reason at that moment to have gone and hidden in the bathroom. She's in her room. She could have sat in her room and enjoyed reading the note. Okay, she finds it, runs into the bathroom, sits down in the bathtub, and reads it. And just that moment, she didn't have any lines. And she still came across as a believable preteen, early teen girl. Right. I mean, how old are they supposed to be in this?
I'm guessing they're like freshman in high school. So say
12, 13, 14, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
She came across as so believable in just that moment. The looks on her face, I have a secret admirer, the joy, whatever, which turns a few months later into horror as the blood starts flowing and all the rest. That moment was so well acted.
And I could be wrong too. I'm kind of blanking here. I want to say in the original movie, and again, it could be totally wrong here, I don't believe she finds out who the admirer was until they're adults. I believe, Ben kind of confronts her, they kind of talk a little bit, and then she realized, wait, this is you. I thought there was Bill the entire time, because Bill was the writer. Yes, Bill was actually the writer the entire time, yes. He tends to be a famous writer.
Okay.
Anyways.
It's all right.
I'm rambling here. Go.
Wait. I will say my bottom line for this one is, if you like horror movies, absolutely see it.
Right.
Very well done. If you're okay with horror movies, they're not your favorite, you'll still enjoy it. You won't regret seeing it. If you hate horror movies or the idea of kids being tortured or anything else, don't go see it.
Now, the sequel comes out. Just how do you feel about the adults? Do you think that'd be okay, the adult version? Because it still gets me kind of nervous here.
I don't know, because the best part of the movie was those kids acting.
The kids. Well, I think Skygo's great as well.
Now, here's what I would do for the sequel. And this is me speaking as somebody who cares about the art more than about the finances. The studio has to go ahead and make it. Wait 10 to 20 years, and then make the sequel with the same actors.
Well, you can't do Pennywise then. You'd be way too old for that.
But you can recast that and not realize you've done it.
Yeah, that's true.
But actually have those kids grown up. And how many years is it supposed to be? 20 what?
It's like 27. It's a weird number.
So either legitimately wait 27 years, or at least wait 15 to 20 so that it's clear they're old enough. Because they could play a little bit older versions themselves.
But here's the thing. On the TV series, and again, if you watch it now, it's horrible. It really is. It doesn't hold up time well. As an adult, I don't see why adults would be scared. Now, they forget when the kids move away. They forget what happens. That's part of the mistake.
Oh, they just forget.
They completely forget about anything.
Huh.
They completely blank. That's part of the magic.
That's Stephen King.
That's Stephen King. It's cool actually how he does it.
But when they come back, based on if it's 27 years and when we just said, they're going to be around 40 years old.
Right.
So they're basically your age.
But I would come back. I would have like a machine gun on me. I would have any weapon possible. Yeah. I would hire. And plus the fact that these guys are also successful. They have so much money. Would you hire like 20 bodyguards?
Yeah.
I would hire mercs. Exactly.
You say, Arnold, who did you hire to do all those action scenes in the movies? I want to hire your entire crew.
You can literally find a Green Beret that probably needs work, pay him a couple $1,000s to be a bodyguard for a couple weeks.
Find Burt Gummer. He can take down one of the graboids and tremors. He can take down Pennywise.
You find him,
Burt
Gummer.
Man. There we go.
So again, and that's one thing I'm curious about if they can do that right, where the adults come back. They're still the same kid. Yeah. They're adults now, but can they really have the same impact? Because that did not transition well in the original TV series.
Right. Well,
the adult part was over cheesy, and I didn't buy it at all.
We'll have to see how well they do. But I am now intrigued. Somebody needs to do a Tremors It mashup.
What?
Because Burt Gummer only fights things that are coming from under the ground.
No, not under the ground. That's one thing he didn't prepare for was under the ground.
No, but since then, that's all he's done. He's been in every movie since then, and he's become the expert at fighting creatures under the ground.
Wasn't it a TV series, too?
Yeah.
He was? I never saw the TV series.
He's been in everything. Not that all of it was good, but he's been in all of it. Burt Gummer versus Pennywise.
It was actually interesting, too, because Stephen King books, one thing I give him credit for, they all kind of tie in a little bit together. Right. So I want to say Pennywise's spaceship actually falls to Earth in Tommyknockers, I want to say. And they actually, I know what book it was, another part of the books, one of the kids walks past them and it says Pennywise lives. Right. And it's close enough we can make another Pennywise book.
Yeah.
Pennywise, I think, is one of the greatest creations. This is his greatest creation. I really think so. And clowns are terrifying if done correctly.
Oh, yeah. Clowns.
And I think he did this correctly. So, again, I love Skarsgård. The trick he does with his eye, he had a lazy eye in the entire movie. And he worked,
used it.
He worked it well. That lip he does, that's all him.
Right.
So he was great.
So I know when the sequel comes, you're going to be there opening day.
Take the day off already, yes.
Okay.
Planning me up being here.
So, with that being said, do we have a B-Man question of the week for next time?
Yeah. It's a random thing. I was reading Watchmen again recently. One of the greatest stories of all time.
Greatest, yep.
Just say, for example, DC and Marvel comes up to you, big publisher. They want to sell like a Watchmen-type story. Elseworlds, What If, whatever it is. So it's not really part of this continuity, but it's a good story. Can you think of a good story that's original, that hasn't really been told before in these universes? And again, it's Elseworlds, so anything can happen.
You don't mean using the Watchmen characters, you just mean like a standalone story like Alan Moore created.
Right, it can be like a 12-issue story, it could be a 1-issue story. In this universe, where again, it's an Elseworlds story, so therefore it doesn't really affect anything here. So therefore you can end the world if you want to, or you can... Can you think of an original thing, or has everything been told already?
All right. Good question.
Thank you.
So until next time, this is John Paul.
B-Man.
We are out of here.